are we rolling?
All right, down we go.
This is Radio Tetris International, Postcard from Poprad.
I think it's a bizarre idea.
Well, it doesn't sound broken.
We've had a bit of a rewind.
Ian, I've got something to say. I was waiting for my moment.
Lee and I have lots of fun when we do these funny little things that we do.
In all honesty, I don't get
It'd
it.
be like a menage a trois.
I'm actually sitting here in my scanties.
Now see what you've done, Rachel.
I've got to tell you, though, it's pretty hilarious.
Oh, right.
Absolutely not. It's because you mended the studio and you broke everything.
What an idiot.
RTI.
That'll be us then. It's Eric Wiltshire here at the base of the glorious Tattery Mountains with a whole show that keeps changing. It's rather dynamic today. But first of all, hello. Steve's in there first on Facebook. Good afternoon, Steve. We've got to say hi to Emma and Faziz and Bill, Nicola. Hugh's there, and Hugh's there even again. Gosh. Hello, America. Good morning. Oh, it's good morning. Wake up time. Come on, are you having ham and eggs this morning? Well, you should be. What? Wow, you can say that without your mouth moving. Magic. I know. I'm very clever like that. Got the gear.
I've got a few of them.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing that in a minute.
Can we tell people what's happened to me?
I think we should.
I think we should.
Have you got it with you?
I haven't got it. No, it has to come in the post.
Oh.
Yeah, it has to come in the post, but I've got a slip.
You got the temporary little slip thing, yeah?
Yeah. It's in the other compartment.
Is it?
What are you fiddling with my thing again for?
Because Caroline had the microphone low last week. You've got it higher this
okay.
week.
So, Lee, you are going to right now rant about you having to wake up at 5 in the morning.
There's three things I've got to rant about if his royal pudginess will allow me. Right. The first is the only problem with becoming a permanent resident or a resident of this fine and wonderful and glorious and stunning and charming and outrageously special country.
Yes.
Is having to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to see the police. Who were very polite, even though it's a bit of a scruffy place to go, isn't it? Nobody told me it was like that in the middle of a council.
But the police are just wonderful.
They were lovely. Diana, if you're listening, she's the mugger at the place there, and she was so charming and wonderful and everything. And we stayed at this wonderful hotel just round the corner called Zwickers, and I got eaten by tsetse flies.
Yeah, there've been a lot of them.
I know.
Been bitten on my legs.
Through my jeans.
Oh,
through
gosh.
my jeans.
Hello, Vieira. Accosamage, Vieira.
Accosamage, Vieira. I'm here too, and I can speak the language now as of today.
Steve wants to know, something serious has happened to Lee. Has he been banned from drinking beer? No!
No, I'm tired. I've been up since 6 o'clock this morning, you big girl.
You now have official residence in Slovakia.
I am a resident in Slovakia. I am here. You will never get rid of me. I am the hardest working man in radio and a Slovak resident.
Oh, heck. Stefan, what have we done?
I think we have a problem on our hands.
Can you hold the microphone up a little bit closer?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Gob.
So I just said that we have a problem on our hands.
What's the word for gob in Slovak?
Mouth.
Mouth? You don't say mouth. You just made that up. What's
But you don't say gob in Slovak.
What's gob?
Huba?
Uber. Shut your Uber.
Actually, we were having. Where were we? I'm trying to think where. I remember we were in Aqua City having lunch.
Yeah.
Caroline, Harry, and Jan Zelensky. And so Jan said, "Oh, how did you get on at the radio?" So I laughed, and he was laughing. I suspect he was listening.
I think he was.
Because he said, "What did you say to Lee then, Caroline?" So she said, "Shut your mouth." He said, "Good thing. Somebody's got to do that regularly." Good afternoon to the young Paul Rustling and the lovely Anne, who are there on the side. And we will start. Well, we're not sure. We actually are awaiting an incoming call from somewhere where we don't know where it is, driving around in the UK in an electric vehicle. We're expecting a call. So when you hear some funny noises, don't worry about it. It's just me getting it all wrong. But I've got a few little notes to start off with, just to upset Uncle Lee. Too hot here today, Chloe. No. Paul, your fan didn't bust, did it?
Whose little fan bust?
Paul's.
Little Paul's fan?
It bust.
He's in that little place where he lives near that big pub what I went in.
I think so.
Yeah, little fan.
It's supposed to be a rule of radio where you don't lose it.
Yeah.
But the fact is, with chat rooms the way they are,
Yeah.
it's incredibly funny. And Steve's come out with the best one. I hope I heard that wrong. Is mouth Uber in Slovak?
Yeah.
Not
No.
mouth. Mouth politely is usta.
See, he said it was mouth.
But if you want to say something like not polite,
Like gob.
yeah.
Yeah.
Huba would be good.
Hoover. Like in a
Hoover.
Hoover.
Yeah.
Like sucking things up.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
sort of thing.
that sort of hook.
It's a sucking machine thing.
It's where they get all those bits together. So it's kind of right, Steve, but it won't work in Russian.
No.
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 Steve has a Russian assistant.
Housemaid.
Yeah, assistant. Anyway, we are celebrating this week. It remains one of the single greatest achievements mankind has ever done, in my opinion.
Jeremy Clarkson.
No. 50 years ago, on July the 20th, 1969, humans stepped on the surface of the moon.
No, they didn't. What?
Yeah,
A
Eric
small-
is one who still believes on moon.
Yeah.
A small step for man.
The
A
closest
giant
he
leap
got to the moon
for
was me pulling my pants
giant
down.
leap for mankind.
Yeah, they were really slow, giant leap. I know it took ages, didn't it?
Well,
to
it did,
land?
'cause there's no flipping.
No, I believe it, but there is a lot of evidence that it didn't really
I don't.
exist.
Can you believe it when once you said Elvis Presley's alive and well on the moon?
That was when I worked for the Daily Star. I could say anything I wanted.
Well, that's true. Hi, Trevor. How are you?
I found a double-decker bus on the moon once.
You can't. You can't make it up, can you? Anyway, I'm kind of wondering what's going to happen when Richard Branson's Virgin, what's it called, Explorer or something, the spacecraft.
Oh, right, the spacecraft.
Right.
Yeah.
So because they're all saying 1969 was rigged, and the flat Earth people all deny it. Now, when Richard Branson's Galactica, that's the word, when that takes off and flies round the Earth,
Yeah.
how are the flat Earth people going to explain that?
Because it just goes around the edge.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but also, remember, and this is perfectly true, we've also found a pig on Mars.
This is true.
People say pigs might fly. Well, this one did, all the way to Mars. There it is, in glorious Technicolor.
He's on form today.
What, Mr. Man?
Yeah. It may be one small step for a man, but it's a giant leap for mankind if Lee ever learns any science. I agree.
I know the science of a Skoda. I'm going to explain to you the science of a Skoda.
You won't understand that
I
at all.
will.
Anyway.
But why? No, this is a serious point for all the ladies out there, not for the gentlemen, for the ladies. Right. Because there is a big furore, right? That was a tired furore.
Yeah, it was a bit.
Right? About the fact that he only said it was one giant step for mankind. What happened to womankind? Don't women do? Didn't women have anything to do with it in the 60s? Very wrong, whatever your name was,
right.
Glenn Campbell.
It's right. It was the right thing to say.
No,
he
could have said anything. He could have said.
Did who was the man that mankind did it onto the moon?
Hey, you said it because he was a man.
Yeah, he can say he's a man, right?
It could have been a woman.
So
why didn't they send a woman?
So why didn't he say a giant leap for person kind?
Yeah, exactly. Person kind is what he should have said.
Mankind.
Person kind. Why didn't they send a woman? Why didn't they send a girl? They've sent a monkey. They've sent a dog. They've sent a fly. They've sent a hamster. They've sent a man.
Not to the moon.
No women have been sent up there. They did actually. I lie. They did send a woman.
Not to the moon.
Not to the moon. Nobody said the moon. Did I say the moon?
No.
Thank you very much.
But
I'm
his
a Slovak.
quote,
He backs me up.
The quote was from him landing on the moon. A man person landing on the moon.
That's disgusting. You
Why?
should be taken off the air.
I'm not at all ashamed of that.
Right, women. I'm all for the women. He's all for the men.
Of course I am. I'm a bloke. For goodness sake. Anyway, it was wonderful. I had to get permission to stay up and watch it.
I did as well, but I was in Spain. I watched it on a television screen in
Really?
Spain. I was only
Wow.
I don't think I was even born.
Yeah.
So we are now claiming that there is a moon above. Yeah, it's not painted.
No, it's not a painted moon. No.
Okay,
it is
because
in the
I
song.
got a
There's
little bit,
song about it.
I got a little bit lost in all those controversies and stuff.
No, what it is, there are anomalies in the pictures that were done off the moon landing. And lots of people over the decades, and if the Duke's listening, he should write in about them because he's actually investigated them, and they are anomalous. But I believe, like Uncle Eric here, that it actually did happen.
Actually, the problem is that when you reanalyse the pictures today, considering the camera that they were using, it's amazing because the computer power that they were using then is lower than, say, the first IBM laptop. Yeah, because which did nothing. It was a horrible thing to use, and these guys were using computers so old at that time to transmit pictures tens of thousands of miles, kilometres, to get back, and they were a bit blurry, and I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised at all. I really am not.
I will back up my son over here, my 8 years old son, who knows already that...
I preferred it when you said 80-year-old.
No, 8-year-old son, 8 years old son, who knows already that the moon is made of cheese, and first people over there was Wallace and Gromit.
And ended up in a bit of a pickle.
You sure? Hang on a minute. I thought it was the clangers that went there first. That's going to sound horrible out of some speakers. Anyway, it's worth celebrating. It was a fantastic operation that took place. Yes, there were girls, a lot of girls involved in it, actually, on the ground.
Yeah, they're only on the ground.
Yeah, only on the ground.
You should be elevating womanhood.
And when you think, we haven't done that much since like that.
Well, we've been to Mars. We've flown past Jupiter. We've investigated the Kuiper what's-it belt. We have done quite a lot, really.
Well, anyway, we hadn't done a lot until last week.
What did we do then?
On Sunday last week, England won the Cricket World Cup Championship. Oh.
What was that?
I have no idea. I'm so tired, honestly.
The Cricket World Cup. England won it.
What did they win?
The Cricket World Cup.
There isn't no Cricket World Cup. That's for footballing people.
And I tell you
what's it called?
Anybody that watched it, it was absolutely stunning.
Is it called the World Cup?
Cricket World Cup.
Can somebody out there confirm that Mr. Wiltshire's making that up? It is not called the Cricket World Cup.
What was it called then?
I don't know. I'm not interested in cricket. I hate cricket.
It was so... I mean, I nearly hid behind the sofa more than I did when I watched Doctor Who. You couldn't watch. It was terrific. Oh, it was so wonderful.
Boring.
Guys, help me out.
Oh, I see. Steve reckons the cricket was fake as well. It was all computer animation. Yeah, right, okay. All right. Anyway,
good on you, Steve.
I'm confused over here. My vocabulary is not that good.
Yeah.
Cricket, isn't it an insect?
It's played by people with the minds of an insect.
It's very simple.
Oh, I see.
Stefan,
it is very simple.
The
for
simple rules
people.
of cricket is this.
When
you're in, you're out. And when you're out, you're in. And that's the rules of cricket.
Okay, I thought I was confused before.
And sometimes you can shake it all about.
You can have a silly mid-off.
You can have I can't think of one for that.
You can have middle leg.
I know, but I know nothing about cricket.
Oh, no. And also on Sunday...
You could bail me out.
That's what I'm doing. And also on Sunday, the only place you're ever allowed to have Formula One in the UK, the British Grand Prix, was held at Silverstone. And Lewis Hamilton was not only the winner, he really rubbed salt in the wound because on very tired tyres, and they were a bit worn.
I'm very tired, you know, Stefan.
He, in the last lap where you would normally drive carefully because you want to get the trophy and be number one. No! What did Lewis Hamilton do? Stuck his foot down and got the fastest lap of the race. What a driver!
What was he driving? A Skoda? Can I tell you about the Skoda?
He was driving one of the Mercedes team cars that are actually put together in Britain.
Not Germany.
No.
Well, that's very good because that's where my Bentley comes from. But can I tell you about the Skoda now? Thank you. That's very nice of you to allow me.
All right.
I wanted to tell... Now, you will verify this. I have had argument after argument with this gentleman here about the quality of Skodas. I say they're rubbish. He says they're brilliant. A lot of people say they're brilliant. I still say they're rubbish. And what happened yesterday was I wanted to rent a Range Rover Discovery thing. No, a Range Rover Sport thing. Mm-hmm. And we went. It was nice, brilliant. So it looked at it. When they said it was 400, it was no €700.
What, for a day?
Yeah. So I just went, I said, how much is that BMW? They wanted 300 for that. So I said, go on then, how much is that Skoda? They said €46. So I'll have that then. So we got in it. And they upgraded me to a Superb, which they should be done under the Trades Description Act for.
They are superb.
Guess what happened?
Well, it broke down.
It broke down.
Do you know, that is really, really unusual.
So they say, yeah, they're not supposed to break down as much as the illustrious JT's £100,000 car, is it?
No.
But it did. It did.
Was it a diesel or a petrol?
Diesel. Oh, God, I'm not putting any diesel in it. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. Diesel, why? What's that got to do with it?
Well,
What did you put in it, then?
I put my wife in it, my handbag.
Oh, so you're taking it back this afternoon?
Yeah, after I've done this, yeah.
So where did you get it from, the airport?
Yeah, I got it from the airport.
Oh.
So you're going to have to come and pick me up from the airport when I've taken it back.
Am I? Oh, right. Anyway, where was it? We'll be talking about the Poprad Airport a bit later on as well.
It's nice,
because we
Poprad
like
Airport.
that. I love the fact that Hughes invited 690 fans and Mohammed, he invited 111 fans to come and listen to the programme.
Nice.
Very
Very
nice,
nice.
man.
Very nice,
Very nice,
Thank
man.
you.
Nice, man.
At the moment, this is colloquially known in the news industry as silly season because there's not much news in the summer because everybody goes on holiday.
There's loads of news. You've just made that up and all. You should be on the Daily Star.
That I've got lots of news.
It's what we started with, because I sent you a really good news story and I'm not seeing the list because you're not giving it me. I know it wasn't a full list because I was stuck in pressure.
Mate, seriously.
Haven't you?
No. I have nothing.
I had no dead people.
No.
The German man who used to say, how very interesting, out of Ronan Martin's laughing, he's died.
Has he?
He's 91. Well, he was 91 until he
was.
died.
No,
Yeah.
it's there, the listy thing, it's here.
Oh,
but, on your Skype.
I
But
sent
no, I
it
didn't
you
get
last
that.
night.
Oh, well, I haven't got it. Sorry. Didn't come. You sent it to the wrong place. Jeremy Clarkson has been voted the best host of motoring show Top Gear ever. And why am I?
How come?
Because he's a genius.
He's the best.
He's the best. He is the funniest man in the world, apart from me and him.
Yeah, why does everything Lee touches break down? I kind of get that. No, Jeremy was voted number one. And the funny thing is, this was a poll done by the Radio Times.
For the BBC.
Well, no, the Radio Times is separate to the BBC now.
Is it? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
He's so clever, you know.
But they're not at BBC anymore.
No, they're not, but it's not to do with the new one. It's to do with the old one. That one that idiot Chris Evans tried to take over.
Well, he didn't even get in the top 8.
I know. And that idiot Matt LeBlanc, or whatever he's called.
Well, he was kind of close, but
he
not
was
there.
number 8.
6.
All right, that's 7. Let's settle on 7.
No, he was 6. The scores on the doors were in first place Jeremy Clarkson.
Yeah.
Number 2 was James May. 3, Richard Hammond. And the current host, as they call him, Chris Harris, I think he's more... He's not really a host.
No,
he's
nothing.
an assistant. He was in 4th place. Now, Tiff Nadell, that hasn't been on the show for a very long time.
He's not very good.
Oh, actually, he's a good driver.
Well, he might be a good driver. He's not a
really
good presenter.
No, he's a bit wet on fifth gear as well. He was in 5th place. Matt LeBlanc was 6th, and Paddy McGuinness and Freddie Flintoff came in 7 and 8, respectively.
But yeah, Paddy McGuinness should have been able to do something. But even he said that format was made specifically for. Well, they made it their own for Clarkson and May.
Yeah.
And nobody can compete with that. Get out of it and create your own format.
I know they're actually even copying ideas that were done years ago on Top Gear, and the trouble is that Hammond, May, and Clarkson did them better.
They did. They just got
true.
this. Yeah.
There was no.
It was fun.
There was nothing.
I thought you didn't like Clarkson. Why?
What?
I like them.
Yeah, of course he does. Anyway, so well done, Jeremy.
Yeah, good on you,
It
Jezza.
just shows how stupid the BBC were over a lovey.
Can I just say no? He shouldn't have given this producer a smack because he didn't get him a steak.
Well, I would have done.
Just put steak through his arms.
Yeah, that's right. There you go.
Yeah,
You see.
but no, just remember, people don't. What?
Sorry.
42 years it's been on.
I know.
That's incredible.
Yeah, but it was
27 presenters.
For a huge chunk of time, it was rubbish.
Was really.
Then it was rubbish again. Then Clarkson left, and then he came back.
Yeah.
And then he threw his toys out the pram and said, I want to do this format.
Yeah.
Put the new format on. Everybody loved it.
Because it is just. I believe that Jeremy Clarkson is a very, very consummate comedian. As you know, I've met him.
Of course. It's what makes people remember things.
Yeah, but he's a very, very intelligent, very adroit, very astute, gentle man when you meet him.
Absolutely. Well, it is. Actually, he's a lot nicer than Noel Edmonds, who's into cars.
Noel Edmonds a knob. I'm not allowed to say that word, am I?
No. No, he's a bit arrogant, shall we say.
He's an arrogant NOB.
Okay, should I make a note? Because, again, I was lost my vocabulary.
Knob is not actually a very rude
Oh,
word.
Okay,
Can you
we
hear
got
it?
our guest.
Can you hear it ringing, boys and girls? Here we go. Hello, who's calling the golden shot?
And two old people in a very, very rubbish electric car.
But it's not as rubbish as a Skoda.
Well, that's true.
See?
Okay, so we have our own Top Gear right now over
Yeah,
here.
let's do Top
We have
Gear.
Top Gear.
Yeah, let's
Okay,
make
so-
it electrifying.
So from the three of us, who is actually Jeremy?
I'm Jeremy
Oh,
Clarkson.
damn.
I'm Jeremy Clarkson. He could be James May, 'cause
I'm not gay.
James May's not gay. David, did you hear what he said?
Where is
He's
this
got nice
going?
pot belly.
I don't know. I'm completely lost. And Steve's saying, Eric, did you ever work with Noel? Yes, I did.
He's a knob.
What?
Who are we talking about? Mr. Edmonds?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I've worked with him. He's a really nice guy.
No, he's
he
not.
isn't.
Yes, he is.
Mr. Arrogant.
Yeah, go and plug your car in.
It's already plugged in again.
Oh,
That's why we don't hear it. Yeah, I was sitting in Toyota of my business partner.
Yeah. Is it electric?
Yeah, and it's called hybrid something whatever.
Yeah.
And I
Hybrid,
sat in
yeah.
and I asked him, okay, so start it up because I want to hear it. It's already started up.
I hope Dave's picking all this up in the back of the room. Anyway, where are you? How?
Oh, I think he's just fused it.
No, that was Stefan being unprofessional and turning his microphone off. So, what's going on, Dave?
Right, well, the Max Regen team have done another road trip, and this time we've gone to Wales, which is 300 and something odd miles. JB's with me, because it's obviously his car, and, yeah.
So, you've
We're
been
charging.
driving for a week?
No, not that long. Day one, we did the journey in a day. It took nearly half a day to do it from East Sussex to I've forgotten where we went now. Milford Haven, that's right.
All right.
And that was
Yeah, but
Wednesday.
why did you go there? Milford Haven is best known for oil and petrol, and you're going there with an electric car.
That's a very good point.
Right, very good point. And it's at this point I'm going to pass you over to JB, who will explain why the hell we were there.
Chicken!
No, it's not chicken. It was his gig, and it wasn't mine. Yeah. So anyway, here's JB to tell you why we were in Milford Haven.
Yeah. Well, hello, JB. Why Milford Haven?
It's a bit of a strange story. I shot a video there about in 2016 about a railway line. Surprisingly, you were correct. Going to the Gulf Oil Refinery.
Right.
And this railway line was designed by my father-in-law.
Right.
Sadly, no longer with us. But one of the engineers who worked on it at the time liked the video we did, and decided to. I decided to do it again, do a refresh on that video. So we've been down, spent the day, had a look at the track again, talked to some of the people who worked on it, had interviews with them, and we're going to produce another video for it. So it was a kind of we already had the cameras in the car,
Yeah.
so we thought we'd do one on the way there as well.
Now this explains everything. Why a picture on Facebook of you precariously balanced on a bridge, shooting video. That'll be the track then.
Yes.
Aha.
Can we just explain why electric cars have such a hard time when we've just pulled up in the only two slots in this service station, and guess what's just pulled up alongside us?
Go on.
An internal combustion engine car. It's a BMW estate.
Yeah, there you
and
go.
they've just got parked in the one remaining free slot, and they've just buggered off into the.
I wasn't going to say what you said.
Like that.
That's rude.
Yeah, you can't say that word. I'm not allowed to say knob.
Stop it. No, but that's just
You
positive.
can say knob if you like.
Thank you.
Okay. They've parked in an electric charging place and cleared off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's only two slots here, and we're in one, and the other one. Yeah, they've just gone into the. By the way, there is a massive car park about 100 yards away, and it's got loads of free spaces in it because I can see them.
What
So,
a numpty.
Well, actually,
That's my small moan for the day. This is one of the challenges that you have to put up with, unfortunately. They just don't want to walk the extra 50 feet to the.
No. JB and Dave, if ever you need this excuse, this is mine. Because
Right.
when Mrs. W says, "Oh, you always have to park so close to the shop," I go, No. I am parking tidily to fill the space up so other people can then come and follow me along. You have a nice, tidy car park.
That's your OCD coming out. That is.
Yes, but it's still a good excuse. Come on.
how
all right,
fast?
I'll-
How fast does your electric car go?
Mine.
Well, what?
Well, whose hills are we talking about? Well, I mean, I don't know really. I mean, the official answer is 70 miles an hour. But I'm not being too committed. I have seen the numbers go higher than that.
On a track.
On private land where the
Downhill.
speed limit didn't apply.
Right. Yes, now I get it. That sounds nearly as good as somebody who was on Top Gear once who said, Clarkson said to him, "How fast is you taking your car then?" He said, "Hang on a minute, I've got to work this out. 70 times 10% minus a bit more. Oh, 75. And that's how he did it. So what part of the series are we on now? I'm getting confused.
Right, okay. Episode 3
Yes.
was uploaded last Sunday evening, Monday morning.
Yeah.
There is one part left of that. That is the trip to the British Motor Museum, which we did, which was East Sussex to Gaydon.
To where? To where?
Gaydon,
Warwickshire.
Warwickshire.
Oh, right,
the British Motor Museum, full of
right.
cars,
Okay.
awesome place, just off the M40.
Oh, right. Did you have to put your makeup on to go there?
No, I needed passport though. It was north of Watford.
I
Dave always
understand
has his
that.
makeup in.
Yeah.
Eric, you know this. Dave always has his makeup on first thing in the morning anyway. I mean,
JB, he could throw one back at me now, and I would be in deep trouble.
yes. Just be very, very careful what you say, Mr. W.
For the people in the industry, and I know there's a few of you out there, we're talking Molyneux, virtual reality screen, and a makeup box.
Mm-hmm. I know that
Even
story.
I didn't know about this. I've got to ask him now what this is all about.
It was Mr. Rhodes who told me.
Was it really?
It was, yes.
You naughty bunny, David.
Oh, well, I have to keep things going. I mean, I remember somebody being rude about me going out to the Ross Revenge not so recently.
Well, you were green.
Yes, I know, but you don't have to tell everybody.
Well, I was only talking to you. Now you've told everybody.
Yeah, don't be rude. This is a man who's only got a 2-hour bladder.
Well, that's very true. But, I mean...
No, my bladder's fine. It's JB's that's knackered.
No, Lee, let's for all the listeners, let's clarify this, because otherwise it gets too much of an in thing. I was chatting to Dave during the week on Skype.
Yeah.
So the conversation was just me and him.
Yeah.
He was taking the mickey a bit. So I responded by saying, oh, a bit like when you go out to the Ross Revenge.
Yeah.
And I was only talking to him, not anybody else.
Yeah.
But now I'm having to explain the fact that we had a medium-sized boat to go out to the MV Ross Revenge. The water that day was as calm as a billiard table. By the time we got out to the ship, which was only a few minutes, Dave was green around the gills.
You've got my sympathy, Dave. I've actually been seasick in a rowing boat.
Oh.
Excellent. And anyway, Mr. W, can I remind you of a certain statement that you put on Facebook yesterday underneath the aforementioned picture of JB hanging over the edge of a bridge?
Yes.
And what was that about?
I can't remember.
You were making comment about me going out to the Ross Revenge and being green, because I made the comment about you turning the air blue out on the ship.
Ah, that's when I hit my head on one of the supports.
Yes.
Stuff.
So anyway, shall we move this back to electric cars?
What a good idea.
Can I tell you about my Skoda? Guess what? It broke down.
Oh,
It wasn't
that's
electric.
not
though.
good.
It was an electric one. It'd have been better if it had been an electric one. It was a diesel one. The Skoda, superb. £46 for a day it cost me. And the brilliant thing is, I used hardly any diesel because it didn't go anywhere.
So what happened? Did they pick you up?
No, actually, no. This is. I'm not saying who the company is, because I phoned up the company and said, look, all the warning lights have come on. And this is what they said to me, right? He said, what colour are they? I said, well, some are green, some are red, some are orange. He said, are they predominantly orange? I said, yeah. He says, bring it back then.
That's right.
Yeah, but a bit dangerous, man. I said, I want that in writing. You're going to have to email me.
No, the MV communicator didn't sync. But anyway, so you uploaded the video. For those that don't know or weren't here a couple of weeks ago, it's pointless saying you uploaded it because they won't know where you've uploaded it.
No, well, we've uploaded it to our YouTube channel, and the easiest way of finding our YouTube channel is by going to the webpage www.maxregen.co.uk. And that is www.maxregen.co.uk.
That's right. And I think we are now about, because you've got me thinking about all the things we've done in the past now, Dave. I think it's now time to do a role reversal. When somebody said to me once, as I was driving into London, why on earth do you do a traffic report on a satellite radio channel? And I said, because people listen in offices and homes. And I'm just giving them the traffic report. And it's not my fault. It's Dave Rhodes that told me to do it.
Yeah, he's got the right name.
It was in my bloody show.
I know. Now you're swearing.
Did he just swear again?
He did.
Dave, your show would have been better because it would have been called Dave's Roads.
What's knob?
Oh, yeah.
You still didn't
Dave's
explain
Road
to me what
show.
is the knob.
What knob?
What is a knob?
Yeah.
You find them on the front of, you can have a knob on the front of a chest of drawers.
Yes, okay. Over here
That's
on
it.
the
You have
door
a
should be
doorknob.
Yeah.
Doorknob.
Knob on a radio to turn the dial
The
around.
knob for turning up your radio.
Yeah, that
Okay.
works. That works
Yeah,
as well.
that's about it, isn't it?
Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on.
Can we have a traffic report from wherever you are, and where is it, and what's the weather like?
Right. Okay. Well, I'll start this off. We are at Pont Abraham Services, right at the bottom of the M4. It's where the M4 ends.
Is that Wales?
That's Wales. Yes.
Right.
So we're beyond Swansea. We're beyond further west than Swansea.
Blimey, you'll be in America soon.
We will. Actually, it's very close. Oh, and our ice car is just about to leave now. There you go. Yeah.
It's not the BMW. You won't be able to chase him, mate.
No, you won't. Well, you might
Do you
do.
want me to give you the registration number?
No!
No. Anyway, so we're at the end of the M4. End of the M4. It's actually quite queued up coming off the M4 and sort of heading towards the M4. It's got a roundabout at the end of the M4, and a useless piece of information for you. It is the most dangerous roundabout in the whole of Wales.
Why?
Because that's where they...
I don't know, but that was the survey that they did, and it's probably because it's coming off the M4.
They come off come straight off the M4 into a roundabout. People are so used to doing 70 miles an hour.
I know where it is.
Like, boom, yeah, you know.
Yeah, I do.
It's a really dangerous roundabout.
It's very dangerous.
You be careful, boys.
You be careful. It doesn't matter in your case if you can't get over 30.
Steady.
It is steady.
So, we reckon, commenting for you, at this rate, they might be in Liverpool in 6 months.
And somebody will steal your wheels and your battery.
Yeah, that's right.
That's terrible.
Oh, no.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I've got new tyres as well. I think. Yeah, we don't want to...
No. So, where are you going now?
Home. We're going to East Sussex, but we're going to go via some friends in Bridgend.
You like pushing the envelope, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, no. I got it wrong. They're going to friends in Bridgend so they can nick the electric from the friends and charge the car up again.
Yes, and look at their Corvette. Yeah,
What?
They got a Corvette.
They got a Corvette?
Yes, photos to follow.
And
What's one of the most powerful BMWs? He's got an enormous BMW. Really, it's 7 Series, really powerful machine.
I wouldn't.
7 Series to 7 Series? I don't know.
I wouldn't mind a recording of the Corvette running.
We can possibly do that. We've got
Yes.
a car full of camera gear, microphones,
Yes.
and all the kit. We can do that.
We shall expect that. We shall expect that. That'll be lovely. Right, we're going to carry on, chaps. Safe journey back. Behave yourselves.
Yeah.
That's impossible.
Don't go too fast.
And Dave, one more reminder of the YouTube channel, no, the website, please, rather.
The website is www.maxregen.co.uk. That's www.maxregen.co.uk, and you can find out all about this lunacy.
Yeah. John and Dave, thank you very much for joining us.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. There's Dave, and if you haven't seen the videos, you've got to see them, because what they do is effectively inform you about electric vehicles, but they don't do it in a dull way. It's fun the way they do it, and it's actually very Top Gear-esque. I don't know if you've seen them. They actually, JB and Dave work like, well, I was going to say Morecambe and Wise bit, but I don't know which one's the short, fat and hairy one. Oh, Dave.
So I see that our today's show is full of controversies. We started with moon. Everybody knows there is no moon.
Yeah.
And now we continue with that we will run out of gas and everything.
Electric, yeah.
Yeah, we will have to turn to electric. Okay. So what are the controversies do we have today?
Oh, we've got some coming up. Yes,
Scolders.
Steve. No, Dave. Steve. Yes, do that. Send it over to me. The fight is going on now, and this is a really ridiculous fight that's going to happen. Because Mr. Johnson's going to become the new Prime Minister of the UK, the EU are already fighting back, like attacking him, going, it's going to be kamikaze time if you don't do as we tell you. What?
Well, I can see what you see. The problem is everybody basically likes Boris Johnson because he's a buffoon and because he's very funny, and he's also looks a bit of a buffoon, but he's also very controversial and has these problems sticking to the truth. Now, him holding up a red herring as the council thing was actually quite an insult to them. So I can understand why they're having a go at him.
Well, I can, but you see, there again, this got me thinking the other day, and I haven't yet had a reply.
To this?
Yeah. And I thought to myself, hold on, they're supposed to be supporting citizens across the EU. I went to the Council of the European Union Facebook page.
Yeah.
You should see the appalling things on there. Really bad. Really bad.
What, in what way?
The EU not doing stuff to protect citizens, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, right. Yeah,
whole load of stuff.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, as this is the official page, I'd ask a question that I've never had an answer to whenever I've been following the EU, listening to debates, and I do that a lot. And so my assumption is that tomorrow the UK crashes out of the EU. Just an assumption. The following day, Spanish farmers are gifted a fund to reduce prices of bitter oranges to sell to the UK. Reason being, most of the bitter orange farmers in Spain sell their entire crop to the UK to make marmalade. So if the Spanish government gave the farmers an effective sort of little bit of financial help, wiping out the tariffs that the EU would try to bring in, what would Brussels do? Would they do nothing, or would they fine the Spanish members?
Interesting point.
Yeah, now, what would they do? So I haven't got an answer yet. And the next one is in areas such as northern France. Same time, but this time you'd have yellow vest protests, where the people go around burning everything, yada, yada, yada. That, upsetting the farmers in northern France is worse than upsetting Lee and I together when we're grumpy. It really is, because we can be horrible. Now, what would the French... What? Brexit needs to happen, says Naomi.
Okay, good point.
Yeah, I haven't got a problem. It's the will of the people. Well, it was the vote.
Yes,
I agree.
Absolutely. Well said.
Agree. Yeah, you're right, mate.
Why do people deny that? Why do people actually think they can deny that?
But going back to the point, so if the French government agreed to subsidising the farmers in northern France so that it kind of erodes the tariffs that would come in, what would Brussels do? Would they do nothing, or would they fine the French members? In other words, have they got any clout? Now, today, very early this morning, I did actually remind them on their Facebook page that we were going on air today. And did they bother to comment? Nope. And my view is they don't even go there.
My view is that Facebook is used in a completely fallacious way by anybody in any kind of power. And I'm going to reiterate this very briefly because we've said it a lot, but I want to say this is now the third month that I've been writing to Facebook about Corporal Clegg's Facebook page. Remember, he's the man who earns millions of pounds as the new face of faceless Facebook, and his page has only had on it, apart from a few photographs of his dog by the sea, the attack of it by his wife on the chairman of the Daily Mail. Now, I do not see that as the faceless face of Facebook's new face doing what he should be doing. Yeah,
absolutely.
But he will not answer. The Facebook won't answer. The press office won't answer. Nobody will answer the questions about that. Just like that Facebook page.
I like your reply, Naomi. Read my EU questions being posted. All the reply was, good luck. And I think that's absolutely right.
Yeah, that's the
Mitchell
problem.
wants to know, why do the Conservative members prefer Boris Johnson over Hunt? Can't understand that.
Because Hunt is just a complete flaccid waste of
What was the term they used to
insipid.
use? It was wet, wasn't it?
Wet, insipid, flaccid,
No.
wet.
No.
Yeah,
When the
just be
Conservatives
careful.
I know. I'm sure it was Ted Heath who was denoted as
Yeah.
a wet Conservative. Was it wet?
It
was something like that,
A wet
wasn't it?
Tory, I'm sure it is. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's what it is. He's wet.
Yeah.
Anybody who can go on the Jeremy Vine show and actually just spend half an hour saying nothing except platitudes and pretend kinds of little bits of Tory propaganda is not the man. At least Boris Johnson stands up and says what he's thinking,
Yeah.
whether it's true or not.
I have a lot of time for any politician like that, and I'll reverse it over the other side, because even though he got chucked out by Mr. Corbyn, Ken Livingstone,
Yeah.
in his heyday, he was a very strong character who didn't move sides, didn't change his view, and I respect a politician that does that.
No, a politician can change the view. You don't have to continue with your views because new evidence or new information
Sure,
comes up.
but what I'm saying is his principles,
Yeah, his
were
principles,
the same. He wasn't.
But what about Corbyn? He's not changed his principles, and he's
I mean,
another.
he's changed loads of times.
He's one of those things on the door.
Originally, he comes into Parliament looking like a scarecrow.
He does. Yes, that's not changed.
Then he decides to give people the power to ask questions in Parliament. So he goes, Lee from Bradford says.
Yeah.
And that lasted a little while, so he dumped that one as well. All the normal things he just dumps.
Yeah.
You know, it's ridiculous. So I don't get any of this. And of course, Steve says, well, maybe because he wants his fox hunting. No, actually, it's wrong fox hunting, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But if you don't do something, it is going to cause problems. And the other thing is they should have some alternative to it, because the amount of people employed, the horses that are looked after, the packs of dogs that are looked after, it is multi-millions.
But there is drag hunting, and you know, having lived in the English countryside for 30 years, drag hunting does actually fulfil a need. The problem with hunting is that it is an arrogant man's sport. Well, not even a sport; they could describe it as a sport, but it's just arrogance and uncaring.
I mean, I'm not talking about fox hunting here. In the traditional terms of riding a horse for hunting.
Yeah.
Have you ever done it?
No, I'm not. No.
It's murderous.
I've ridden horses.
It's more than just exercise. It's like killing you.
Yeah.
It really is.
You've been jumping fences.
I tended to go through more than go over most of them.
Yeah.
And I think the horse was going, he's a numpty.
In fact, you could have hurt Jeremy Corbyn because he might have been sitting on one.
That's right. Anyway, moving on just to wind some other people up.
Yeah.
There's some new stuff that come out this week from the UK government, pardon me, and they are adamant that all the flat earth people and the rest who say that 5G's going to kill you are absolutely wrong.
Duke, join in. Tell us what you think. He's a flat earth person because he's got a flat head.
Oh, well, that's right. I don't mind that. Everybody from the healthcare people, the regulators, anybody that's accountable have now put their papers together. They've all gone out as one, and they go, it's okay. Having said that, one parliamentary petition has more than 290,000 people demanding an independent inquiry for health and safety, when the health body, the regulators, and everybody else that's accountable...
Are you talking about 5G?
Yeah.
You never mentioned 5G, and it's 29,000, not 290,000.
29,000. What did I say?
290,000.
Did I say 290?
You exaggerated.
I'm so sorry.
We were
boys.
just a little bit off, like.
I was a
10
bit,
times.
yes. Anyway, they've all said you're stupid. The people that would have to have the independent inquiry done are the people that have got the papers out saying you're stupid. So you 29,000 people, you're stupid. I find this quite horrific. An amputee is seeking an answer to why his picture was shown on a packet of cigarettes. This guy
That's amazing, isn't it?
had to have his leg amputated, and it's appeared on the packet of cigarettes as if it's him smoking.
How does he know it's his leg, though?
Because of the way the operation was done, they can tell.
Ah, interesting. Where did they get the picture from?
From somebody in Belgium, we think.
But why? So who'd take the picture of his leg? Did they
I
do
presume
that in hospital?
Yes, they do. I presume it was somebody
Why?
taking... Well, it's because they put it on your notes.
Good
It's
point.
like any operation.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
I've got many pictures in the UK hospitals.
Is it like a thing right now to trade pictures of amputees?
I don't know. Yeah.
Well, they do reserve the right to. I know when I had my knee operated on,
Yeah.
because it was very early, and the same with my pretend finger. Both of those were kind of like very early on styles of operations, because I'm a bit old, and therefore they did take pictures of them, and they did say they would share them with student doctors and da-di-da-di-da education. And I said, yeah, no problem.
I've only ever had one operation, and they didn't share pictures. They brought them in the operating thing,
Right.
and they all had a look at what I was having done.
Yeah, oh God, I don't know. This is going to cause chaos, and there's only 10 minutes of the programme left. I'm waiting for Steve Mann to blow the proverbial fuse, rant so strongly that we'll hear him 2,000 kilometres away.
Right, go on then.
Because Dynamic says, fox hunting, it's an art. People who hunt, this is really hard to say and not make a mistake. People who hunt understand it's an experience. And most flat earth people are psychos.
I agree with him on the second part. Is he serious in the first part?
Well, I can get what he's saying, because people don't go on hunts for the fox. They go for the experience.
Oh, yeah, of course they do. Yeah.
And I think that's what he means.
But but drag hunting is the humane way of doing it.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
lived in a farming community. I've had rows. I've had huntspeople trying to go across my land, coming up my drive. My animals were in there. My animals were in danger with these people. They didn't care about my animals.
But they should. I mean, those
shouldn't, no.
they're irresponsible hunts, and I just don't want to be like that bloke on Radio 4 who got the word hunt mixed up.
I think, and that lady who did it as well.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
Anyway, this poor guy has ended up with his amputated body on packets of cigarettes.
That's incredible.
Claiming,
unbelievable.
but anyway, he spoke to France Bleu, which is a radio station in France, and he's really upset about it.
Not surprised.
And I'm really not at all surprised. I'm really not. I hope, Sir Antoine, that you do get something organised over this. It is really it's sick. Actually, I can't think of another word to describe it.
Eric, yeah, you know what's interesting today?
What?
Nobody mentioned yet Consumer Watch Foundation.
I was just thinking about
No,
it. You know,
It is not even 10 minutes till the end of the show. It's like 7 minutes.
I completely
Nobody mentioned
forgot.
anything.
Listen, all you Slovak people who live in the same country as what I do now, there is a story in the Consumer Watch Foundation today about Bob Dylan and the trouble he caused in 1964 in the Czech Republic.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
There was something.
Yes, there was. We're going to try and cram some news in for you guys.
He got a factory closed down. I just thought I'd tell you.
Yeah, well, Dave Rhodes is still charging the car, and Steve says if they're going for an experience, they don't need to hunt a fox. They can still ride horses without chasing them in the snow. That's what he's saying. Drag racing. 17 people were injured at an event I used to go to in Stevenage, Hertfordshire, in the UK, because some numpties went on the road on an event where the roads are closed so that sports cars, rally cars, in my case it was a grass track car, which would never be legal on the road, are allowed to go on the road to raise money for charity.
Yep.
And we used to do this every year in Stevenage, and the guys are obviously really upset about it.
How many were injured? 23, isn't it?
17.
17,
Yeah. And there are people now baying for blood. And honestly, it's like a rally stage. People don't listen. And it's not the organisers' fault at that point, because they've been doing this for over 10 years. I know what they're talking about. Labour peers have taken out a newspaper. Oh, God, Steve's going to go again. Newspaper advert accusing Jeremy Corbyn of failing the test of leadership. It was signed by 64 members of the House of Lords, which you must remember that a Labour peer in the House of Lords is appointed by members of the Labour parliamentary group. Now, so they're obviously very, very Labour in. Well, actually, they are Labour orientated.
Of course
It's
they
not
are.
Mr Corbyn's
Yeah,
Labour.
yeah.
Anyway, they've done this to try and embarrass him, and as per usual, Jeremy has done nothing. An airline has sent an £85,000 bill to a woman who tried to open an emergency door in mid-flight. This plane had to return to Stansted. It was on its way to Turkey. Apparently they got I don't know why they got 2 RAF jets scrambled to bring it down. It was only a drunk woman, but apparently they did.
Well, they didn't know it was a drunk woman at the time.
Well,
That's
no,
the problem.
'cause
It was treated as a potential terrorist threat.
Yeah, no, I get it.
That's why she's got the 85,000 bill. She should have got it.
So,
What I heard is Stansted again, and I am holding a grudge still.
Yeah, I know you are. I know. Scientists at the wonderful Earth Station, hi Charles, in Cornwall called Goonhilly, are spending £10 million updating Arthur. And Arthur was the Telstar dish.
What did you look at me for when you said Arthur?
Well, because I was waiting because I'm silly comment, because you do. What was the British Telecom Earth Station at one point is now the Goonhilly Earth Station, and they're going to throw £10 million to upgrade the Telstar satellite dish, wonderful satellite dish. It had my ugly mug on it at one time. Moving on, music has charm to soothe a savage breast.
Can I just say something very quickly? Yeah. To all the ladies and gentlemen who are watching on Facebook, I've just realised I found a big hair on the side of my face and pulled it like that. But it looked like I was picking my nose, and I wasn't.
He was.
I wasn't.
He was.
He was licking the finger just because he wanted the hair to stick to it.
Oh, I like that, Hugh. Most of it's lost between the moon and the New York City. Yeah, I got it. Very
nice
good
one.
tune. Yeah. That was, very good song, Hugh. I like that. He's good, this Hugh. He knows his music. Anyway, they reckon that music is the soothing thing around, and I agree, because in Slovakia there's so many offices where it's quiet. They don't say boo. Whereas me, I got music and loud everywhere.
Well, you just are very noisy.
Am I?
You are. People say I'm noisy. Who's the noisiest? Me or him? Him.
I can't pick a side. It is dangerous over here.
Mr. Ibrahim says, boom. This is why we love. Yeah, thank you, Hugh. That's very kind of you. We have got, anyway, music, you should play it everywhere. It keeps you really happy, relaxes you, which means you'll get more work done, and everything's wonderful. I have a question for the European Commission as well this week. They fined Qualcomm €242 million because they were being a bit naughty in the pricing and undercutting a UK company. I want to know where the money went. Does that €242 million go to the company in the UK, or does it just go into the European Commission to buy bottles of wine? You see what I'm saying?
I can see people popping the cork over that one.
Yeah, so can I as well. And Dave says, thanks for letting us gate crash the show. It's just taken us 10 minutes to escape the services. Back on the road now. Don't forget, you can find... Oh, here comes the advert. Don't forget, you can find out more about this madness on www.maxregen.co.uk. So there you go, Martin. You've got the address as well. And... just to remind everybody, a Circle K store they're a Canadian company, but they operate also in Mexico, have got into deep water this week because they had it's a Secretary's Day down there, and so they had chocolates, wine in a pretty box with a packet of condoms.
Well, that's all right, isn't it?
Well, and everybody went nuts about it. And I've got to say, good luck. It's very rare we ever get to say a pub is reopening.
Where's that? I'm on my way.
It's the Musgrave Arms. It's in Shillington, a little village in Bedfordshire.
Whoa.
It's in Apsley End Road. They reopen on the 20th. Apparently everybody's tired.
It's me. I did it. Look, thank you, Lee, it says.
Yeah, right. 14 hours a day has been going on. The head chef is called Lee. Stefan, the manager, have all been going beyond...
Not me.
He's us.
Hang on, it's you two. What's going on? How did I know that? Lee, what's the weekend doing for you?
Well, I'm just going to celebrate. I'm planning. Here's an invite for everybody out there. We are holding a party to celebrate the fact that we are now residents of Slovakia. And I am inviting the whole of the world.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to be planning my party. I'm going to be sulking.
Well, hang on. Where are you going to...
I'm not. It's a secret party. I'm not telling people.
Oh, right. Okay.
And, I'll tell you. It will all become clear. You're coming because he's DJing, right?
Okay.
He's coming because he's bringing his band and going to teach me to play guitar.
Hang on. Hugh's coming from New York.
Hugh's coming from New York.
So it's in Slovakia then, he's asking. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
We're going to have to go.
In your
Say
lounge.
goodbye.
Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
Stefan.
Oh, bye-bye. Have a nice weekend.
Oh, I love it. Thank you ever so much for the company. Hugh says ciao. Ciao, baby. Yes, Paul, I know that, but it's been an unofficial thing for like decades. It's been one of those silly things, so we'll probably cover that next week. We'll have to go. I've got to go. We'll see you soon. Goodbye, everybody. Have a nice week. Till next week.
RTI